Picture this for a second. You're on an empty mountain road, early morning mist still floating across the tarmac, the engine beneath you humming with confidence. And every twist of the throttle feels like freedom on demand. That's not a fantasy. That's the exact emotion the 2026 Suzuki V-Strom 650 is designed to deliver. And today, we're diving deep into why this machine continues to be one of the most balanced, trusted, and loved adventure tourers in the world. The moment you look at the 2026 V-Strom 650, it doesn't scream for attention, it commands respect. The beak-style front, sharp LED headlamp, and muscular stance make it clear that this bike isn't just built for city roads, but for horizons. Suzuki has refined the design to feel modern, without losing its rugged identity. The proportions are perfect, tall enough to feel dominant, slim enough to stay approachable, and aggressive enough to turn heads at traffic lights. It looks like a motorcycle that's already planning your next long ride before you even sit on it. Swing a leg over the seat, and you immediately notice how welcoming the ergonomics are. The upright riding position, wide handlebars, and well-padded seat make it feel like the bike is adjusting to you, not the other way around. Whether you're 5'6" or well over 6 feet, the V-Strom manages to feel comfortable and natural. This is a bike you can ride for 10 minutes or 10 hours and still feel fresh enough to keep going. That's not accidental, that's decades of touring DNA perfected into one machine. Fire up the engine, and the 645cc V-twin comes alive with a character that's smooth, refined, and full of personality. It doesn't just make power, it delivers it in a way that builds confidence. Twist the throttle gently, and it's calm and predictable, perfect for city riding. Twist it harder and you feel that surge of torque that makes overtakes effortless and highway cruising addictive. This engine has always been known for its reliability, and for 2026, Suzuki has continued to refine the performance so it feels cleaner, more responsive, and more efficient than ever. What really sets the V-Strom 650 apart is how versatile it is. On city streets, it behaves like a practical commuter. The clutch is light, the throttle response is smooth, and the bike feels balanced even in slow traffic. You don't feel like you're wrestling a big adventure machine. On highways, it transforms into a mile muncher. The windscreen does a solid job of protecting you from wind blast, the engine sits comfortably at cruising speeds, and the stability is rock solid even when the road opens up. Then when the asphalt ends and broken roads begin, the suspension steps in and reminds you why this bike wears the Strom badge with pride. Potholes, gravel, uneven patches, the V-Strom absorbs them with maturity. Suzuki has also stepped up the tech game to match modern rider expectations. The 2026 model features an updated digital display that's clear, informative, and easy to read even under bright sunlight. You get essential ride information right in front of you without clutter. Traction control gives you extra confidence, especially when road conditions are less than ideal. ABS works quietly in the background, stepping in only when needed, giving you safety without killing the fun. These are the kind of features that don't scream for attention, but make a massive difference in real-world riding. And let's talk about long-distance touring, because that's where the V-Strom 650 truly shines. The fuel tank capacity is generous enough to give you serious range, which means fewer stops and more riding. Luggage options are plentiful, from factory panniers to aftermarket setups, making it easy to build the bike into your perfect travel companion. Whether you're planning weekend escapes, cross-country journeys, or even international adventures, this bike is more than capable of handling it all. What makes the V-Strom 650 special isn't just what it does well, but how effortlessly it does everything. Some bikes are great on highways, but tiring in cities. Some are fun off-road, but uncomfortable for daily use. The V-Strom sits in that rare sweet spot where balance becomes its biggest strength. It's not trying to be the fastest. It's not trying to be the most extreme. Instead, it focuses on being the most usable, most dependable, and most enjoyable bike for real riders with real lives. There's also something incredibly reassuring about owning a machine like this. Suzuki's reputation for reliability isn't just marketing, it's built on years of bikes that simply refuse to quit. Owners around the world routinely put massive mileage on their V-Stroms with minimal issues. That kind of trust is priceless, especially when you're far from home and the road ahead is unknown. Then there's the emotional side the part spec sheets can't explain. The V-Strom 650 has a way of making you want to ride. You'll find yourself creating excuses just to take it out. Late-night coffee runs turn into extended city loops. Weekend plans start revolving around routes instead of destinations. You begin to see roads not as obstacles, but as invitations. That's the magic of a well-built motorcycle. It doesn't just transport you, it transforms your mindset. For new riders stepping into the adventure touring world, this bike feels approachable instead of intimidating. For experienced riders, it feels like a loyal companion that just gets the job done every single time. That's why the V-Strom community is so strong globally. People don't just buy this bike, they bond with it. The 2026 Suzuki V-Strom 650 isn't about flashy gimmicks or over-the-top claims. It's about authenticity. It's about balance. It's about delivering a riding experience that feels honest, capable, and deeply satisfying. In a world where many motorcycles try too hard to fit into a category, the V-Strom quietly continues to define its own. So if you're the kind of rider who dreams of long roads, spontaneous plans, sunrise rides, sunset returns, and a machine that feels like a partner rather than just a product, this bike deserves your attention. Because the 2026 Suzuki V-Strom 650 isn't just built to take you places. It's built to make you fall in love with the journey every single time you ride.